Hi, Analisa Six here with the Lady of Leisure and the Sober Curator to bring you the February 2025 horoscope for the zodiac sign of Scorpio for sun and rising placements. This lighting is making me look insane. It's so bad. I'm sorry. My makeup definitely doesn't look as bad as the lighting is making it. Who cares though? I'm just here to talk about astrology. Um, I feel like there's a couple signs. Every time I post the videos for you guys, I get a couple dislikes. And I feel like Scorpio, Capricorn, and Leo are always the people that don't like my videos, which the irony is I am a Leo and I love Scorpios and Capricorns. And yeah, I have a lot of Scorpio, Capricorn, and Leo dominant people in my life. And I don't know what about me is just so worth hitting the dislike button. But it's kind of funny to me though, because it's like, I feel like those are the signs that would hit the dislike button. And, hey, power to you. Hit that dislike button. If you can't stand me, you can't stand your horoscope, you don't like my delivery, tell me. Tell me all about it. Bully me on the internet. Dislike my videos. Hey, I do these for free. Don't get paid. Do it out of just enjoying astrology, kindness of my heart, whatever, hey, whatever. Um, let's talk about February for Scorpio. So we are in Aquarius season, and every February we start out the month in the fixed air sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius, being a fixed sign, makes what's called a square aspect to you, Scorpio. So Scorpio is the fixed water sign of the zodiac, and Aquarius is the fixed air sign of the zodiac. And squares are hard aspects. So when we're experiencing a lot of energy in the sky that is making a hard aspect to us, we might feel some tension. We might be a little bit more, kind of wound up or rigid or reactive in a certain way. But one of the things about squares that I really appreciate is that tension that we might feel, or that friction, is also really good energy for motivating us towards goals or manifesting things that we want. It can be kind of like a driving energy when we feel that pressure to make moves or do something. So if we didn't have some of that tension or of the square or some of those hard energies, we might not feel as motivated at times. If, we were just coasting, we might be kind of bored. It's a lot of times when we don't have that tension that we feel like we need to make big changes because we feel stagnant. So that kind of tension, if you are feeling it, try to think of it as kind of like a welcomed thing that is going to push you, and Scorpios, you're ruled by Mars and Pluto. Mars is the planet that represents our connection to what drives us forward. It's considered the god of war, it's the action planet. And so that being one of your rulers, as well as in modern astrology, Pluto is your ruler, which is the, karmic death planet that represents big, death and rebirth cycles and transformation through deep shadow work and healing. Those two energies are really, you kind of thrive in pressure a bit. It's like if you didn't have any of that, you'd be bored. So Aquarius season might feel like there's some pressure, but pressure makes diamonds kind of thing, and it's good for you. Where Aquarius season hits in the horoscope is the fourth house, which is the house that rules our connection to our home and also our family. And so when we have the sun passing through here, it brings a bunch of energy into the home. It also makes us feel maybe more introverted. So, we are still in winter here in this part of the world. And so if you are feeling more reclusive, more introverted, more like you kind of just want to be a homebody, all that Aquarius energy is getting pulled into the fourth house. We also have Mercury in Aquarius starting out the month. So the sun and Mercury are in this area. So, Mercury rules our minds and, communication. It also rules some travel kind of energy, contracts, writing. So, all those things are a theme when we have Mercury in Aquarius. And if you are, thinking about things with your home life, like whether you want to move or change something about the home, um, put more energy into something going on with your home life or your family life, Mercury is here to kind of help you have some of that mental stimulation around it. Some of the other aspects that we're experiencing for you at the start of February is we have Venus finishing up her stint in Pisces over the first coming days of the month before she enters Aries. So in January, we had Venus pass through most of Pisces, and the area of the horoscope that was hitting for you is the fifth house, which is the house that represents our connection to self-expression, creativity, children, pleasure, and joy. And Venus in this area of the chart is really great for creatives. If you're an artist, a musician, a poet, a writer, a playwright, a actor, performer, like Venus coming in here really enhances your imagination, your ability to kind of channel and hone in on that creativity and express it in a really positive way. It's also really good for romance, connecting to joy, building relationships with your children or children in your life, your own personal inner child. And Pisces and Scorpio make what's called a trine aspect in astrology. And so it's a very welcomed aspect. It's mutable water meets fixed water. It likes itself, it enhances your psychic, intuitive energies, and it's a really positive energy for Scorpio. But Venus is leaving that area of the horoscope and is going to enter Aries on the 4th and move into your 6th house. So at the time I'm recording this, it's already there. Venus is in the 6th house for the rest of February. And Venus is going to be in your 6th house off and on quite a bit until May, because we have Venus stationing retrograde in Aries at the beginning of March. And so Venus passing through the 6th house. Now, Venus is known in traditional astrology as the lesser benefic, meaning she brings good fortune wherever she's passing through. And so when we have Venus passing through the 6th house, it's good fortune around our health, good fortune around how we are structuring our daily routines, good connections with animals and pets, also the work that we're doing in the world and how we're of service is, blessed and enhanced here. Now, because she's stationing retrograde here, those themes then can come up for reflection and review. So retrogrades, again, reflect, review, reassess. Venus is also the planet that rules relationships and love. Because the 6th house has a connection to daily routines, sometimes those themes will come up in our relationship dynamics when Venus is here. And if it's retrograde, we might be reflecting on the ways that our daily routine with a partner or somebody that we're cohabitating with is either working or not working, especially with the energy in the 4th house with Mercury and the Sun here. But, that Aquarian energy is sextiling that Aries energy. So it is positive in terms of creating new systems, new structures for your health, wellness, daily routines, work that you're doing, all of that kind of stuff. But retrogrades are challenging. So if you feel like you're kind of on the struggle bus in terms of trying to figure out, the best route or solution for how you need to structure your life, just let yourself play around with some things during the retrograde, because once she stations direct, you'll figure it out. It'll come together. But, the retrograde starts in March and she doesn't station direct until April. And she does go back into Pisces. So she's going to go back into Pisces at the end of March, be in Pisces for all of April. And then you're going to have her heading through Aries again at pretty much all of May is going to be the 6th house. And then she'll move into the 7th house in June. And so we have some time, with Venus here, and, it's just about restructuring kind of your relationship to those routines and how you take care of yourself. And I will say Aries rules the head. And so people that have Aries in their 6th house tend to experience migraines or, kind of more headache kind of stuff. So that, retrograde, that reflect, review, reassess, you might be navigating some different ways to take care of yourself that help you eliminate headaches, be through diet. And, sugar, I feel like, is such a culprit of that kind of stuff. So it might be kind of needing to drink more water and, have less sugar and all that kind of stuff. So those are just kind of some of the themes to think about with Venus over February. Another transit that we're experiencing around the time that Venus moves into Aries is Jupiter stationing direct in Gemini. So we've had Jupiter in Gemini for quite a while, and Jupiter is going to be in Gemini for a few more months, but Jupiter stations direct. And where Jupiter's been hitting for the Scorpio horoscope is the 8th house, which is the house that you traditionally rule. And it's the house that represents our connection to shared resources and assets, banks, loans, debts, sex, death, rebirth, the occult. And, wherever Jupiter's passing through, it's called the greater benefic. It's all about expansion and growth in these areas. So when it stations retrograde, again, we go through kind of like a reflect, review, reassess period with this stuff. And then once it's direct, hopefully we're starting to see the growth. We're moving forward, all of that kind of stuff. So it's welcomed in that way. After Jupiter stations direct, the next kind of celestial event that we're going to have is our full moon in Leo on February 12th. So that is happening on the 12th at 24 degrees of Leo. And Leo is the opposite of Aquarius. So it's going to sit, in the opposite place that all the Aquarius energy is hitting, where I was talking about, your home and family and fourth house. Leo's in the opposite in the career area. And, because Leo is a fixed sign as well, it's fixed fire, it's also making a square down to you, Scorpio. So you're going to have kind of this T square energy where, we've got this opposition with the full moon and they're both squaring you. And so you might be in a position during the full moon in Leo of really asking yourself what you're doing in your career, in your work life. We have this Venus happening in the sixth house where there's a lot, that you're probably reflecting on in terms of what your goals are, in terms of life work balance. Who do you want to be out in the world? Leo 10th house energy is very like, who am I? Who do I want to be in the world? What am I doing with my work life? What am I doing with my home life? With where it's sitting in the chart. So in the 10th house, full moons are all about manifesting the things that we want in the future and setting intentions towards that. It's also a time for releasing and letting go of narratives or situations that are no longer serving us. And since this is happening in your career house, if you are thinking about needing to make some changes at work or in the career area of your life, this is definitely supported, and in terms of telling the universe what you want to manifest in that way. So that is happening during that time. After our full moon on the 15th, we're going to have Mercury leave Aquarius and enter Pisces. And so Mercury is going to be entering that fifth house where Venus was during January. And it's good for enhancing your self-expression and your creativity. The timing of this Mercury transit into the fifth house after the Leo full moon is actually really positive for you, because whatever goals that you're kind of making for your career, you're going to have more of this inspiration during Venus in the sixth and Mercury in the fifth to really start problem solving and thinking outside of the box and thinking creatively about how you want to express yourself, how you want to show up in your life. It's good. I think it's a nice, like, kind of boost in terms of your energy moving forward. After that, the sun is going to enter Pisces. So we'll have Pisces season start, and this is really positive for Scorpio energy, and it's hitting that fifth house. So again, your self-expression, your creativity, how you're showing up in your life around what makes you happy, where those kind of like romantic, playful energy comes in. That's all super supported with the sun and Mercury here. The next transit that's happening is Mars stationing direct in Cancer. So we've had Mars retrograde for a while, and we've had Mars in your ninth house for a while too. So in terms of the horoscope, so Mars retrograde is pretty challenging. Wherever we've had it, we've been, feeling a lot of conflict, and we might be trying to push something forward, and it's not quite, we're not able to get it pushed forward the way we want because of this retrograde. And so Mars stationing direct, it's not saying the conflict's over yet, because, we still have to work through some kinks, but at least we're kind of starting to see more of the pathway, and so we're getting some clarity. So in the ninth house is the house that has to do with our values. Oh, wow, look at that. Whoa, what is happening? Our values and our belief systems. It has to do with higher education and learning, long distance travel, kind of this wanderlust seeker energy. And so if you've been kind of questioning things in your life and kind of where you're going, what you're doing, who you are, whether or not you want to make some major changes about, kind of like, are you in alignment with the life that you want to live? Are there changes that you need to make? All that kind of stuff. Mars stationing direct will help you get more clarity on kind of what it is you want at your core. And then on February 27th, we have a new moon at 9 degrees Pisces, and this is happening in your fifth house again. So, great time to set intentions around how you show up for yourself in terms of how you express yourself. If you are an artist or a creative person, this is a great time to set intentions towards any creative goals that you might have. If you are somebody that is looking to get pregnant, this is actually a really good time to try and to set intentions around getting pregnant or starting that journey. And telling the universe kind of what you want to manifest with that, because this is also the house that rules children, and the ninth house and the fifth house are tied to conception and children. And so when we're working with those two houses, you have Mars direct in the ninth house, and you've got the moon, happening. Moon represents our fertileness. So there's some energy there where if you were trying to have a baby, end of February might be a good time for Scorpio rising or sun to try. So just throwing that out there for you. Also, if you're not trying to have a baby, it might be a time where you need to be a little careful. So, think about that. But yeah, all right, Scorpio, I'm going to leave you on that note. And if you'd like to book a session with me, my info is in the description box. I will see you all next month. Good luck.